Hello, everyone. This is Diamond Rivera from Latin Chronicles, and today's special guest is none other than Raquel Toro from Huracan Dance Company. Thank you so much for having this interview with me today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And I mean, Raquel, I've known you for quite some time, a couple years now, and I've seen you when you first started with Huracan. And this company, I mean, I'm a former student there. And to be honest, you guys learn from the best. I mean, not even the best, I think some of the greatest teachers, because a lot of people can dance, but not a lot of people can teach.
Agreed.
And I mean, for the audience here, can you kind of give us a background of yourself of where the dance journey started for you?
Well, actually, I'm from Florida. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
I grew up in Port St. Lucie, Florida. At 18, I moved to Tampa, Florida to go to the University of South Florida. During my time there, I pretty much got into an argument with somebody, and that's how salsa started.
Okay.
Of course, Raquel's way of getting into a style of dance is
Passion and anger led to the salsa journey.
Him and I are very, very good friends now, and that's not a problem anymore. We put that behind us. But it was enough to get me to say, I want to do this. So I started taking classes at Salsa Caliente in Tampa. And from there, I danced on their student team. And I also had an opportunity to dance with Ritmo Urbano with the bachata team out there. And in the midst of that, I danced for about a little under a year and a half over there. And my calling to come to New York happened. So I had the opportunity to leave. And I walked into, at the time, which was called Santo Rico, Queens.
Yes.
And I never left.
And that was located in the Junction Boulevard area in Queens.
Junction and 37.
Okay. And then I remember they moved from that area to 97th.
And Northern Boulevard.
Northern Boulevard, where we are right now.
Yes. Yes. And since then, we've had a name change to Huracan Dance Company.
Yes.
And, you know, it's one of those things that we've seen so much positive growth in the past few months. That's just been outstanding and so much support. And I could say that us becoming us has been the best move that I've seen since I've been with the company. And I've been dancing here now, including taking class and being on the team 2.5 years.
Okay. I mean, and to be honest, coming from this school, learning technique, learning timing, learning the foundation, you can honestly tell a Huracan dancer. You can tell a person that's been trained the right way, not even just routines and choreography, but in social dancing. I mean, social dancing, I think, is one of the best teachers out there because you get to adapt to every situation. One thing I learned from here is it's all about timing. No matter what you do, if you're on time, great. But if you're not, you got things to work on.
I'll say this about that comment. I actually have the opportunity to teach bachata here. And one of the things that I tell my students when they work with me, it's like, when you're a dancer, you're an instrument in what's playing in the music. You are a visual instrument. And if you were to hear an orchestra or a band or somebody playing, and there was an instrument that wasn't playing with everybody else, you've now ruined the piece. Now you've taken and you've stolen what was there. So if you're going to be a visual instrument and dance with the music, then you need to dance at the same time as everyone else and properly represent it. If you're not dancing on timing, you're just dancing to no music. That have nothing on.
That is true. I mean, even from the pre-recordings on audio to even live bands, I think the essence of timing and musicality are key, especially if you want to have the best dance possible.
Agreed.
I mean, as a social dancer, as men, our goal is to make sure that the woman is having the best time of her life.
Yeah, it should be the goal. Not always the goal. For some men, it doesn't happen like that.
That is true. I mean, I've seen men who just honestly just flimsy these women around, and just because I see what they learn, it's almost you're trying to do your class with someone who wasn't in the class and trying to teach them. And I think what's being lost is the communication, the connection. I mean, it's people like yourself, it's women like yourself that in the salsa scene in New York that really bring that essence and bring the flavor and bring the fun while realizing that the timing always needs to be there. And it's not always, it's put in your face, you just know.
Thank you. Yes, it's just the fundamentals of what we're doing, and you have to pay homage to the music that we're dancing to.
Yeah.
And I think that dancing on timing and musically and really reflecting what's happening in the song is the way you do that.
It's true, and to have the name change of Hurricane, I mean, it's a hurricane, and it fits so well because coming from here, we learned about spinning.
Mm-hmm.
This is a school that will teach you how to spin correctly, and I believe Hurricane is just a perfect segue into that, and it works so well. I mean, you have women ranging from, I think you have a young team here of 2 young ladies I've seen.
Oh, Sierra and Raylan are babies.
Yes, and these kids are not even hitting their teens yet, and they have
like 8, and they're spinning better than most people.
Yeah, and it's attention to detail. It's it's a beautiful thing to know that no matter what age group, the foundation lies, no matter what. And I know of recently, you guys had just came from the Salsa Fusion in Long Island. From that, you guys had did a takeover at Salsa Mania, Alex and Maestro's event in dance sport, and then you guys just finished off the amazing weekend at the Connecticut Salsa Fest.
Yes.
Can you guys tell me or tell the audience how that experience has been at Connecticut?
I have to say, one of the best parts of this is that we're getting booked as a company, not just a single team. Many times you see pro teams just getting booked, or just semi-pro teams, depending on the level where the pro team's at, how much we're traveling, all that kind of stuff. But we're getting booked as a company, which is it's so humbling in itself because all of our dancers are getting opportunities, and I love that. And just being there with the family. Having a good time and just seeing what else is out there and being able to support one another is an awesome experience. I had an opportunity to perform Sonido Bestial, which is a routine that I absolutely love. And
oh my God, that the song alone just makes you just move.
You just can't if you don't get up and want to dance to Sonido Bestial, you're crazy.
There's something wrong with you.
Yes. And our pro team had the opportunity to perform to Green Leaves.
Yes.
Which is a piece that was composed by a man named Chili Gonzalez, and it's a quartet, so it's pretty much string instruments and a piano, and they did it live, and it was different because we took the opportunity to dance our style of salsa to a different style of music, and still reflect the beauty of salsa, and at the same time show. Just being able to really show what classical music can do. I grew up a ballet dancer, so I have a very deep appreciation for classical music, and I don't know if that is like that across the scene or across the generation to begin with. Classical music is so beautiful.
It is.
I know that when Jeff picked the song, I was like, you have to do this. You have to do this song. And I was one of the first people that was like, you have to do this. You can't not do this song. And I'm just glad that they saw it all the way through and they made the vision happen because they did a beautiful job that day.
Oh, it is. And I think it's routines like that and visions like that inspire more dancers to break out the shell. But understand that you can take a song that isn't traditionally a Latin song and make it a beautiful Latin routine.
Correct. And I mean the year before, they did Soul Drummers, which, is a boogaloo. And a lot of people, I don't know if people would have bought into it, but they did such a great job with the choreography and the reflection of what they were doing. And I just think that was another time that they kind of broke the mold to go into the cha-cha realm because people are scared to perform a cha-cha, I think.
That is true. I mean, coming from here, one thing I learned is if you really want to sniff out your real dancers, put some cha-cha on.
Pretty much.
Because that's the way you can break down their technique and their timing.
Yes, and a lot of times you see cha-chas as an intro, but you don't see it done throughout the entire song. So that was another time I think that they did a great job breaking the mold outside of just what everyone else does.
And one thing I see really relevant in terms of yourself is your inclusion in the social dance scene. Because a lot of dancers and teachers, sometimes they kind of separate themselves from the social scene, but I think yourself, you've been such an integral part. There's a social I hear of called Toda la Noche. And that event, the word of mouth spreads so far, but one thing that is amazing is that I hear there's a crew, as they called, the TLEG,
Yes.
the League of Gentlemen, but to hear that you are their first lady.
So it's funny because some people have had some silly comments about us, and I just think it's ridiculous. It all started, it was... So originally we were like the early morning breakfast crew because we would go after socials to go eat. Mm-hmm. And then one day all the guys were together. I wasn't there that day, and they called themselves the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It was all just a joke. This is all just a joke. Right?
Yes.
And the name just stuck. And then like we were laughing about it on social media, and they were like, "Oh, this is a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You can't be a part of it." And I was like, "Excuse me. I was here first."
Yeah.
So, it just became a joke. And what it really is just a group of friends that get together and we love to social dance. That's really what it is. And some people are like, "Oh, well, you guys going to start a company? Are you going to perform? Are you going to do this?" And
No, this is dancing.
Like, we're just friends. And it was just a name that just kind of stuck and became fun. And it's something we enjoy. And, they're like a family to me. They're really good to me. And it's, I love my people in the studio, and we're always together, and it's just nice to be able to also have a strong set of people that I can go out with as well. It's just nice to have a different vibe at times.
That is true. I mean, sometimes, when you're always at the studio, and then you get that breakaway period, and then you still have people that love dance just as much as you, but then even adding in a few drinks and adding in just a overall good time. Because to be honest, I go to socials a lot throughout New York City, but I hear of you guys so much because of the passion. Even the pictures I see, it just exudes so much energy and so much just oomph. It's
what I love about them in particular too, is that they dance with everybody. They don't sit there and say, "No, I'm only going to dance with a certain level of dancer." They're not rude about it. They give, and they bring a good vibe, and they've always been very, very good to me. It's a very good group of guys, and I love them all very, very much. And I respect them a lot. And nobody's perfect. They just go out there and they dance from the heart, and that's just what makes them so dope.
Yeah.
And, and they're great friends. Like, we talk all the time outside of just going out social dancing. So it's cool.
That's great. And to be honest, seeing your social dancing, it's even brought out almost a new you, I think. I mean, from the first time I've seen you till now, you see... To be honest, you see a queen, you see a warrior on a social dance scene, but it's in a fun way.
If you had a camera on right now, you see I have all types of red.
I mean, coming from a person like myself who watches so many people and just sees the progression, you can see a different setting when you're in a class setting than you're in a social setting. And, to be honest, you are one of the very few women that I see in this social network we have in the salsa scene, has its beginnings all the way till now. You are one of the very few women that I see that just has a essence about you that is just second to none.
Thank you.
Yes, I mean, and it's almost, and it's a weird way to say, you're almost like a Selena. and I mean that because when people saw Selena, or you even seen videos of her even dancing with her fans, you see the energy and the laughter and the joy.
Aww.
And it takes a lot to be kind of compared to a person like that who wasn't even a salsera. But what she brought to the table and the legacy she left behind of just pure energy, excitement, love for what she does, you are the one of very few people that I know that gives that.
Thank you. And wow, to be compared to a legend like that, I'm still red. I think what it all comes down to is sometimes I think we forget what social dancing really is. I have people that I look to in the dance scene that I really enjoy. But for me, I really look to the old school salsa.
Yeah.
Because back then it was really about the music, the dancing, and the follow, the connection. And I think sometimes what we've got turned into is a scene of pretty styling and pretty this and pretty that, and pretty isn't real. Beautiful is real. Dancing from the heart is real. And I think that part of dancing from the heart is connecting to your partner, connecting to the roots of the song. And Jeff says this, and it's the truth. Salsa did not start on a stage. It started in the roots of our culture. And social dancing is part of that root. And if you really to me, if you really love it, you have to always go back to the roots.
Exactly. Because so many people I see now are focused on just trying to perform, but real dancers understand that it takes more than just performing.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be broken down to your core. You have to learn going back to the basics. And social dancing is an amazing teacher because it helps you grow, not just as a dancer, but also as a teacher.
Yeah. Social dancing, performing, and taking class is all three very important things to help you grow as a dancer, in my opinion. And it's the truth. You have to become well-rounded in this. You have to.
It is.
I just don't think that you can really make a huge splash in the sea being good in one area anymore, because there's so many great people that are so good in that one area. It's like, well, how do I compete with that?
Exactly. and one thing I see in the social scene is that a lot of women are so used to being turned, and so used to having turn patterns given to them and just thrown at them. But then sometimes the men lose sight of the real connection.
I think on both ends of the spectrum, that's when you have to stop teaching and learning turn patterns and start learning technique. On the women's side and the man's side, or let me just say it like this, the follow and the lead side, because we have people that do both, both genders. And I think that when you understand the technique behind it, then the dancing could happen. But if you just sit there and try to emulate something that someone else did, you're never going to be the same. You're just going to try to be a carbon copy of them, and that doesn't work.
Yes.
What works is understanding the fundamentals of the dance and growing on it with who you are and how you do it.
Yes. I mean, it's almost that statement there is in resonance of just history. A person who understands has been taught by the right people, because, I've had this discussion with a lot of people. A lot of teachers have taught their students amazing choreography, but they never taught them how to become a better person. And I think in Hurricane, being a former student, that's one thing I learned was be yourself. We're here to teach you the right way, but do not be like us. Yeah. You have to be yourself. And that's one thing I could say I've seen in you, from your social dancing to your performing. I mean, the most recent routine you did, Sonido Bestial, it just left me in awe. And seeing Mamacita too, it was these routines. Man, they're character routines. They're stories. I believe that's been left out in a lot of the performances we constantly see weekly and yearly. There's so many people that just want the flash, but not a lot of people have the mental capacity or even just the vision to create stories.
And that's what it really comes down to. This is an art. It's not a matter of making yourself into the perfect picture. It's really, I'd rather see somebody mess up and dance from the heart than see a perfect show that didn't move me.
Yeah.
Move me. Make me feel something. And the only way you can really do that is to be fearless when you go on stage, or be fearless when you dance. Who cares who's watching? It doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel and what's true to your heart. And if somebody's going to laugh and point and say you can't do this, or they don't like the way you do that, then tell them to look the other way, because I'm going to do me. And if you like it, watch. And if you don't, keep it moving.
That's what happens when you are as determined as yourself.
Hey man, you have to be.
But
in anything you do, you have to be
of course,
you're not going to get very far.
You have to be determined while elevating yourself to a higher level, because then from there you see the evolution that happens.
Yeah, evolution's important.
But keeping the balance is always key.
Yeah.
But
don't let your ego get the best of you.
Yes, and a dancer like yourself, being original is most important, because that's one thing I think that lacks nowadays, is people being original.
Oh my God, yes. All they want to do is the same thing that people before them that it's worked for them have done, and it's ridiculous. Like, you already know they're going to do it better than you.
Yeah.
Relax. Do you now, please and thank you.
And it's words from yourself that truly are inspiring, and I think you are helping the wave of new, not even just new female dancers, I mean new dancers in general.
You're so flattering today. I can't handle this.
I mean, and it's really because as a person who does interview people, I interview people that I've known, I've interviewed people that I've seen, and I interview people that I'm inspired by. Because as a teacher like myself, I look to people like yourself to help me when this new wave comes. And learning is that you can teach a lot more through your words than just your foot.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think there's a mental health that has to go into this and inspiration. And I think that if you get caught in just putting people down all the time, you're not going to get the best out of them that you can.
That is true.
And I think that when you build a dancer, you should build a person at the same time.
And for yourself, is there anything you can give as advice to people who listen to this, to a person that right now who's listening to you and is in that realm of, should I dance or I shouldn't dance? And the reason I ask that, because a woman like yourself, I see you have such a grace about you. And mind you, for a woman, you're a tall woman.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, and trust me, a lot of men I've seen, they can get intimidated, but for you, I've seen is that when men dance with you, they just have fun.
Yeah.
It's not about the intimidation factor, because your technique is there, your musicality is there, the body movement is there, and sometimes men can get distracted and almost, they want to do so much stuff, but they're worried. I mean, what is something you can kind of give to people, to the next person that wants to social dance with you, or to that dancer that says, I need that motivation, what can help me?
First off, just grab me and dance with me, because I dance with everybody.
Okay.
If you grab me and dance with me, I'll dance with you. I don't care what level you're at. It could be your first social. It could be your 1,000th social. I don't care. I love to dance, and I think you learn from everybody, no matter what the level is. I'm going to direct this statement more to my women that don't fit the mold of a perfect little tiny dancer.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard too many times, especially since the New York scene has come into my life, and I would say this is a very big thought of the New York scene, which is, it's sad, to be 100% honest with you. You don't have to be a little woman to do this. You do not have to fit a mold to be able to execute and do this. I'm 5'9", and I'm a proud 5'9" woman, and when I put on my heels, I'm 6 foot, and I'm not going to cower down, I'm not going to hunch my back, I'm not going to bring myself down at all for anybody. But, at the end of the day, when you don't fit the stereotype of the size, you have to work twice as hard for half the results. But don't be scared of it. Do it. Because in the end, you work that much harder to get there. And it's something that, don't let the comments of, oh, you're so tall, I can't turn you. Oh, you're so tall, you're just in the way. Oh, your arms are so long, I just can't partner you. I mean, I've heard very, comments that you're just like, go somewhere, please. Yeah. Because I'm not going to chop my arms off to make you happy. How about you're a lead and you have to make the adjustment, which is what they teach anyway. Not that I'm upset about that or anything. You just, once again, accept who you are, the size you are, the shape you are, who you are, and dance from the heart, because that's what matters most. And if people are going to say something about your size, prove them wrong with success. Get better.
Yes, I think that is absolutely true. I mean, one thing I learned was never compromise. In a relationship, in dance, in life, never compromise yourself to help someone else. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, change can be good. But if this is the person you are, why will I have to downgrade myself to fit your mold?
Yep. And if, it's just one of those things that nobody's perfect. Nobody has the perfect feet for this. There's not everybody that's going to have the perfect build, the perfect this, the perfect that. It's just, you work with what you got. Yeah. And to me, those are the people that go the farthest, the ones that don't fit the mold. They're the ones that inspire the most. Look at Misty Copeland, who is a big idol of mine in the dance scene. She didn't fit any molds, and she became the best, in my opinion. And she's an incredible ballet dancer. For those that don't know, she dances with the American Ballet Theater. She's a principal dancer. She's a black woman. She's the one that you see in the Under Armour commercials.
Yeah.
And you know what? She just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, becoming better and better and better. And at the end of the day, now she is more than just a ballet dancer. She is an idol for young women everywhere. So.
And I think at least before we go, I can see you are a symbol of strength. Aww. It's not a lot of people can really say that. And just listening to you and seeing so much you have to offer. I mean, again, there is a person right now listening to this that will feel inspired by what you say and realize you just help these people. Because honestly, as dancers, the intimidation always factor lies with a lot of people. People who start out in the scene are kind of intimidated by people they've seen.
Oh, especially in New York.
Yeah, and I think through these interviews and talking to people like yourself, it's helping to break that mold and realize we're just all humans at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the realm or the room for arrogance is very limited now. I mean, it's people like myself that want to break that gap, and it's women like yourself that are helping that, because you are the people that are showing it's not about an image.
No, just go out and dance. Do what makes your heart happy. Do what feeds your soul.
It's true. I mean, as a social dancer, as a performer, you have it. And now, through your words, it can reach an audience unbeknownst to you. Aww. You know, and I thank you again, Raquel Toro, for having this interview with me. On behalf,
thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then on behalf of Latin Chronicles, we thank you. We cannot wait to see the future projects you have. And this isn't the last time we talk.
No, I'll see you on the social.
Oh, yes. So on behalf of Latin Chronicles, we want to thank you. And to everyone, good night.